This memorial behind me was erected to honour one of the countless acts of heroism that occurred during the Second World War. But who exactly does it commemorate, and where am I? Find out in just a moment. Today, our house-hunting couple is hoping we're the final stop in their ongoing search for their dream country home.
Fantastic. This is a Christmas tree haul.
Isn't it, Jo? And there are plenty of surprises along the way.
Ooh, I didn't expect this.
The windows are gorgeous.
Yeah. Today, I'm close to the Devon-Somerset border, and this is the McLaren Memorial in Exmoor National Park. Now, during the Second World War, Exmoor was under military control and was used as a weapons testing and training area. But in May 1941, when a prototype rocket malfunctioned during a demonstration to military and government personnel, Colonel R.H. McLaren of the Royal Engineers threw himself on the device and was killed instantly. Remarkably, due to his swift and selfless action, nobody else was injured. In this memorial, erected in his honour, as it says, by his brother officers, stands as a poignant reminder to all those whose service to king and country included the ultimate sacrifice. The counties of Somerset and Devon lie in the southwest of England and share a border that covers around 75 miles. The Somerset and Devon border is home to some of Britain's most picturesque countryside, from the gentle hills of the Quantocks and traditional seaside villages such as Porlock and nearby Porlock Weir, to the spectacular beauty of Exmoor National Park. Exmoor is a potent mix of moorland, woodland and farmland with high cliffs that plunge straight into the Bristol Channel. The fast-flowing River Barle runs through the national park, and deep within its woodland valleys, there's a unique way to cross it. These tar steps, thought to be at least 600 years old, are what's known as a medieval clapper bridge. They cross the 55-foot river in 17 spans of flat stone, each weighing around 2 tons. The nearby village of Dunster is another well-preserved medieval example. The octagonal yarn market in the centre still remains as testament to the area's days as an important centre of the wool trade. Today, tourism is a big part of the local economy, and perhaps no one helps visitors enjoy the area more than the West Somerset Railway. England's longest preserved steam railway regularly carries over 200,000 passengers in a season, and its beautifully kept stations, run by volunteers, make the perfect starting point for an outing in this beautiful part of the countryside. The Devon-Somerset borders are a popular choice for those looking for their own slice of country life. But as you might expect, that's reflected in property values. In Devon, the average price for a detached house is just over £300,000. That's around £25,000 above the national figure. You do, however, get more for your money over in Somerset. In fact, prices there are around 8% cheaper than back over the border in Devon. So, which part of this corner of England are our buyers looking to make their own? Let's meet them and find out. Chaz and Debs have been married for 26 years and have 2 grown-up children. They're currently living in a rented flat in Bristol after selling their house in the Midlands. It was just meant to be a temporary base before they escaped the country.
We lived in the Midlands for 25 years and started living here a year ago, and we've been desperate to move.
Getting a bit frustrated.
Yeah.
City's lovely, but the country's nicer.
With most of their things in storage, they're desperate to move somewhere with more space.
We're in this flat, there's no room for us to get involved in the things we want.
And they're craving tranquility away from the city's hustle and bustle.
There's a siren going past at least once an hour. The city never stops because we're right in the middle of the city. It's noisy all through the night.
Chaz is a copywriter who can work from home, and now their children have flown the nest, they feel it's the perfect time to move somewhere new.
We can move anywhere, and we feel that we're young enough to sort of start over again in a different place and get friends and just enjoy life, really. So there's be a mixture of sort of work-life balance would be better anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want to spend more time away from my desk.
Debs is not only a keen gardener, but also a keen cook, and she hopes a move to the countryside will finally allow her to realise her dream of self-sufficiency.
I've been gardening for about 30 years now, and had an allotment where we used to live for about 20 years. And I'd really love to sort of be growing more vegetables.
And develop her seamstress skills.
I've made a lot of clothes for myself and my daughter, and I'm hoping that when we move, that maybe I might be able to turn that into a small business.
For Chaz, it's the chance to pursue his love of foraging.
We're always out looking in the autumn for fruits, for fungi, things to eat.
And is even going to buy a dog to help him.
Well, Debs wanted a dog. I'd be in my element.
So, with plenty of plans up their sleeves, Chaz and Debs can't wait to leave the city behind them and start living out their country idyll. They're looking for rural tranquility around the Somerset-Devon border and are happy to settle in West Somerset or East Devon. They've already seen more than 30 houses over the past 12 months. So before we start our search, I'm going to dig a bit deeper to find out exactly what they're hoping to find. What's brought this big move about then? Because you've lived in the countryside before, up in the Midlands, haven't you?
We just want to be near a really nice countryside, and yeah.
The kids left home as well, so there's a chance to start afresh.
Coastline?
If we could be within striking distance of the coast, that'd be nice, yeah.
What do you call striking distance?
We could get there within an hour, that'd be fantastic. Took us 3 hours where we lived before to get to the coast.
Of course it does. Yeah. That's why I'm a bad swimmer. I'm from the Midlands too. Do you want to be on the edge of a village, or do you want to be in the middle of, well, rural Devon or Somerset?
I'll be fantastic if it's on the edge of a village, because we've come from a community and
Yeah.
we really want to be part of one again.
Yeah, we've no other way of getting to meet people unless we're in the middle of the community, yeah.
Talk to me about the property itself. What does it look like?
We have no preconceptions about the house.
You say that. Come on. Everybody says that.
Well, I don't want to have a modern house. Wouldn't want to be on an estate. Be a bit unhappy about thatch.
If we could avoid
Yeah.
Misty, we'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
We don't think it looks like an executive house. That would be horrible. That's a nasty term. It's got some character and period features. That'd be lovely.
What about conversions, like barn conversions or anything like that?
Whoa.
I'm keener than Deb. She doesn't like them at all.
No.
I
A
don't
lot of them
mind.
were done in the 80s, and they tend to have very dark 80s windows.
How big does it need to be?
2 bedrooms, a workroom for Deb, 2 rooms downstairs and an office somewhere for me, which could be a double garage converted or an outbuilding. I think we'd be there. Deb's dead keen to have a garden, half an acre at least.
Yeah.
I need somewhere to work from.
Stop there. Half an acre of garden.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with all this?
I'm going to grow vegetables, fruit. I've been doing that on an allotment before,
Okay.
but I'd kind of like to have it all in one place now. If there was space, I'd have a meadow and just sort of...
OK, all right. So, half an acre of garden.
Where is this house?
Or even a meadow. Right, OK. Now, Chaz, do you need some outside space? Any interest you've got?
I'm keen woodworker. If there was a workshop somewhere, that'd be fantastic. I'm fairly keen to grow some Christmas trees as well. If there's a tiny plot, I could have half a dozen Christmas trees and trim my own each year. That'd be fantastic.
I'm sorry I even asked that question. We've got a lot of outside space now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Christmas trees.
Only a small plot. Tiny plot.
OK, then let's talk through the budget. All this, of course, comes at a price. What are we looking up to?
Well, we could possibly spend up to 475,000, but we'd really rather spend about 450,000.
OK, that's fair enough. And that's a good budget for what you're looking for. Devon, not a cheap part of the world. Somerset, slightly cheaper. I think maybe for our search for these 3 properties, we could have skirmishes either side of the border. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Let's get started, shall we? This way.
Yep.
For their top budget of £475,000, Chaz and Debs are looking for a minimum of 2 bedrooms plus a workroom for Debs, an office and a workshop for Chaz, and they're not keen on modern houses, listed houses or thatched roofs. But character is good. A large garden is non-negotiable, and ideally they'd like to be near a village and no more than an hour's drive from the sea. We've found a trio of houses to tempt our buyers, and at each one, I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. The final stop will be our mystery house, and today I'm hoping Debs and Chaz will award it full marks. The first house we've found for Chas and Debs is in West Somerset, in the heart of West Bagborough, a small village just 8 miles away from the county town of Taunton, and around a half-an-hour drive to the sea. Just 350 people are lucky enough to call West Bagborough home. This charming village lies in the Quantocks, the first area in England to be accredited an area of outstanding natural beauty in 1952, and it remains unspoilt today. The local pub serves hearty fare that provides good fuel for a walk up to the Quantock Hills that can be accessed directly from the bridleway that runs beside it. And if your feet fancy a break, the local trekking centre offers the chance to enjoy the views by horseback. Our first house lies in the heart of the village.
Right then.
Oh, OK.
So, lovely little village.
Yeah. Yeah.
And house number 1 is this.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, it looks good so
We
far.
like the
looks
village,
great.
we know this area.
You know this area, you've researched this before, have you?
Well,
Yeah.
not this village, but we know this area. Quantocks is right behind, we know that,
Yeah.
absolutely. The pub we just walked past looks lovely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the house.
No,
That's
looks
quite
all right.
homely looking, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, give a
No,
bit
it
more.
does. No, it does look quite nice. Yeah.
Of course, it's what's inside that counts. Let's go and
Yeah.
take a peek.
Yeah.
Yep.
OK.
This detached cottage was built in the 1960s and its exterior is giving nothing away. We begin our tour of the inside in a large sitting room just off the entrance hallway on the right-hand side of the house.
Well, let's start off with this very bright living
Oh,
room.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dual aspect, which is good. Yeah, and lovely view of the garden. That's very tempting.
Just through that doorway, we've got a really nice sunroom.
Yeah, we can see that from outside. It's
Yeah.
quite nice.
I can see from
Yeah.
here it looks right,
Yeah.
so that looks thoroughly light and airy.
Now, I don't know whether that would be suitable for your office, maybe too bright, I'm not sure, and people not enough storage space for books.
Who knows about that? OK.
But it's an option, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
option, yeah.
Yeah.
So first impressions,
Actually, it's nicer inside than it is on the outside, I think.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
kind of getting your lukewarm.
Yes,
first
yeah.
impression.
I think it feels quite homely.
Yeah. I think on the outside it looked more modern than maybe we like, but inside it feels much more homely.
I'm glad Debs and Chas have warmed up. The outside of the house might not have delivered, but the inside certainly has, so far. Across the hallway is the kitchen, also very bright and airy.
Yeah, it's good.
Quite like that as well. I like the space again. Dining room's just through there.
Yeah, it's nice family room, this, actually, isn't it? Yeah.
No, I like this kitchen
Yeah.
a lot. Space works for me.
Yeah, it's lovely, actually. Yeah.
Just off the other side of the kitchen from the dining room, there's a good-sized utility room offering more storage for the kitchen overspill.
Let's go upstairs, maybe look at some bedrooms or even an office, Chas.
OK.
OK.
As we go upstairs, the first room we come to is a study, which could be a workroom for Debs or Chas.
Now, Chas, obviously a lot smaller than the conservatory, but we've got a dedicated office.
I'd struggle to work in here,
Yeah.
actually.
You've got 3 other bedrooms.
Is this the smallest of the bedrooms?
Well,
yeah,
if that's the smallest, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
If this room doesn't measure up as Chas's study, there's also another bedroom at the front of the house, as well as a good-sized double. On the other side of the landing, there's a contemporary family bathroom. And next door is the master, with its own ensuite running the width of the bedroom.
Now, I think you might like the master.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's nice, good size. A
Quite
lovely
nice.
view.
It's nice big cupboards.
Yeah.
It's not a huge room, but...
No, it's big enough, though. I think
we,
it's a...
we don't want a monstrous bedroom, but...
2 to 3 bedroom house don't have 2 or 3 big bedrooms.
No,
And I think that's something we've got to remind ourselves of.
Debs and Chas might feel the bedrooms are a little on the small side, but they do have one more to play with than they asked for. Next stop is the garden, complete with mature trees and shrubs. And on a clear day, there are stunning views of the Brendan Hills and Exmoor in the distance.
No, too small for me. Sorry.
Bang, down to earth.
Yeah.
It's not overlooked.
South-facing, views of the hills and the valley, but not enough of it.
No, it's not a gardener's garden. It's a lovely garden if you just want to sit and relax. There's a nice patio, and if you just want to sit and look at the garden, then that's fine. But when you're a gardener, you actually want to be gardening.
So let's have a go at guessing the price. Who's going first?
Deb's going first.
OK.
So keen.
About 375.
Right, OK. Chas?
I'm in the same ballpark. Maybe the village adds a bit. So let's say, I don't know, a bit more, 380 possibly.
These places on the market offers around £465,000.
My goodness.
It's an asking price. Who knows where it'll settle? Don't be disheartened too much.
We're not.
Yeah, no.
All
no.
right.
No, we
But
haven't
do go
decided.
back into the house and have a look
Yeah.
around.
Okay.
I'll meet you out the front whenever you're finished.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
brilliant.
See you in a
Thank
moment.
you. Thanks.
Cheers, after you do.
This detached house is almost half a century old, and although it's £10,000 under our buyer's budget, there's a possibility the vendor might accept an offer even lower. It's got 3 bedrooms plus a study for Debs, and there's also the scope for Chaz to use the conservatory as an office. The garden might not be the size they were hoping for, but the house is situated in the heart of a charming village and is around a half-an-hour drive from the coast.
It's nice and airy in here.
It is, yeah. Could it be an office?
Yeah, I can see coming in here on
Garden,
a winter's day, it'd be nice, yeah. The house feels quite nice and homely. It's very simply laid out, so I could feel like I'm being at home here, and I think Deb could too.
Inside, it's quite a nice house. It's quite. I like the space, but the garden is far too small for me.
Well, I know you didn't get lost in the garden, but you got to see all the internal accommodation. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
Well,
happy. We're happy.
I think it's been a bit of a learning curve, hasn't it? For me, of finding out what your priorities are, but also for you guys, I suppose, finding out what you get for your money in this part of Somerset. Onwards and upwards. Let's
Yeah.
get a property too.
Okay.
Okay.
When they make their move, foraging fans Debs and Chaz are looking forward to getting a 4-legged friend which could help them sniff out truffles, a prized fungus which grows underground and is better known for being searched out by pigs. So, to give them a masterclass in hunting for this delicacy, we've arranged for them to visit Martock on the edge of the Somerset Levels to meet Marion Dean, who runs truffle hunting classes for canines on her 3-acre farm.
And is this a proper truffle hunting hound?
Yes, she is. This is my most experienced dog. She knows lots about truffles.
And what breed is she?
She's an Italian Lagotto. Because of their excellent noses, they were drafted into truffle hunting.
Truffles have been described as the diamond of the kitchen and black gold, and don't come cheap at over £2,000 per pound in weight. Marion has 650 trees here whose roots have been impregnated with truffle spores so she can grow her own truffles. It's not an easy crop to grow. They can take 5 to 15 years to appear, or they might not turn up at all.
So do you need this breed of dog to go truffle hunting?
Absolutely not. I think temperament is the biggest thing to go for.
When training begins, dogs like Mufti are first introduced to the truffle scent, so they know what they're searching for.
Are you starting that with pieces of real truffle or truffle oil or something doused in truffle oil or what?
Yes.
You will?
I train so that when Mufti smells a truffle, she sits down, and often the truffle's between her paws.
To see Mufti in action, it's off to some shady woodland nearby. Marion has permission from the owner to search for and harvest truffles here. The elusive fungus grows wild here courtesy of Mother Nature, and this patch is full of beech trees, which makes it terrific truffle territory. They're an extremely generous truffle host.
She's obviously getting keen now that we're in the woods. What sort of signals are you giving her?
Well, obviously, I give her the command to start working, and then she goes off looking for a truffle. She'll keep looking back at me for eye contact, as if to say, are you paying attention? If I tell you about a truffle, are you listening? OK, shall we see if we can find any?
Let's go.
Definitely.
Yes, yes.
Come on, Mufti, this is up to you. Sit. Working. Truffle.
So will she always stay within sight of you?
She's fairly well trained to work at close quarters.
Truffles are very popular with squirrels and other woodland animals, so hopefully the locals here have left some for Mufti to sniff out.
Wait. Clever girl.
It looks like Mufti's hit the jackpot.
That's so good. She's actually knocked it out of the ground.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow.
So is this your first wild truffle?
It certainly is. That's amazing.
If you're hunting for truffles, you need to do your homework so you know what's safe to eat, as some fungi are poisonous. A truffle that feels heavy for its size and is hard with an unbroken coat is a good sign.
Is it a good one?
It smells very nice indeed. I'm a little concerned because it's got some give in it.
A soft truffle isn't a good trait, as it could be the beginnings of it going off. They're best eaten fresh and don't last for more than around 7 to 10 days maximum. They're usually used in pasta or risotto dishes, but Marion uses them in a slightly more unconventional manner. Today she's got bread and butter pudding made with truffle that's cooking at home.
Right. Now then, how is that?
Cool, the smell is intensified, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fabulous, isn't
Yeah.
it? There we are.
Thank you.
Tuck in.
Well, we'll start with a small portion.
Off you go, Debbie. Have a try. And tell me what you think.
It's really lovely.
That has changed bread and butter pudding completely.
Fantastic. Well, let's tuck in. Don't let it get cold.
Thank you.
For our second property, we're crossing over the border to Devon and driving nearly 60 miles from house number 1 to the village of Rowborough. It's about a 40-minute drive to the sea and just 13 miles away from Barnstaple, North Devon's capital. Jazz and Debs would find a welcoming community to join in the village of Rowborough. At the heart is a 16th century pub which hosts live music, and there's a village hall that holds a number of events. Surrounded by beautiful countryside, there could also be plenty of places to dig out those truffles. House number 2 is just a 7-minute walk from the centre of Rowborough.
Actually, this is quite nice.
See, I could tell.
Yeah, definitely much more positive.
Look at
than
these
the last
reactions.
one.
These are so much better than the first house, aren't they?
Yeah,
This feels like the kind of place we'd live.
Yeah, it is- it
Whereas
does,
the other
yeah.
one didn't much.
Say no more. Let's go inside.
OK.
This substantial house was originally a cottage built in 1952. It was then extended and converted into a family home around 40 years later. It's set out over 3 floors, and the front door leads straight into a large entrance hall.
First impressions?
Fantastic. This is a Christmas tree hall.
Isn't it, Joe?
All the Christmas trees in it. No, I'm liking this a heck of a lot. And I can imagine
definitely.
inviting several families to come and stay at once in the summer here, friends from the Midlands.
Off the back of the hallway, down a few stairs, is an expansive square reception room.
So the owner calls this the party room. I think it's fairly easy to see why.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
It's big.
It's big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you get loads of people in here.
Underneath this flooring is underfloor heating. Well, 2 French windows opening out onto this balcony that overlooks this beautiful southern landscape.
The lovely valley down there.
OK, so this is good. You've ticked a few boxes already.
Well, we've definitely kicked things off on the right foot, so it's all smiles as we head to the kitchen diner back on the ground floor, with its impressive bifold doors opening onto a decked balcony offering breathtaking views.
It's lovely.
Is it?
Really nice. Yeah, a really another
like
big tick.
that throw open effect there.
Really. I've always wanted that, and to open it out onto that lovely countryside.
It's a picture
just-
frame, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah. No.
I don't know where does it feel like it's in the Alps or something? So that I don't know. Just something about this is quite nice, definitely.
A lot of the brick that you see is reclaimed brick from a cottage that was here. Through there, where the cottage was, you've got a utility, separate utility, and a downstairs loo and shower room. Somewhere to wash the dog off after foraging, maybe.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it could be our home.
Also on the ground floor, there's an office and a dining room, both of which could be put to different uses. And on the first floor in the beamed eaves, there's a large landing leading to 2 of 4 bedrooms. One with an ensuite and another next door to a bathroom. Then down a few stairs, there's a 3rd, smaller bedroom next to the bright and spacious triple aspect master, which is ensuite.
Views.
Yeah, definitely.
Views.
Whoa, OK, we've got 3 views and we've got a dressing room.
And a balcony.
And a small balcony. And
It's brilliant.
we like this room quite a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's got masses of character.
It goes on and on, this house, doesn't it?
We are liking this a
Yeah,
lot.
a lot. Yeah.
I hope so, yeah, because after your reaction to the first house, I thought the next one has to be about the outside space as much as the inside space.
No.
Good.
There's so much room in this house that it offers lots of options. Plenty to think about as we head outside.
Now, I imagine this is probably more what you had in mind for garden.
Definitely. It's fantastic. It's a blank canvas.
This, all in all, plot size is around 1 acre.
Yep.
But this garden, south-facing, I mean, it's beautiful too. Behind that hedgerow,
Yeah.
you've got nearly 2 acres.
Oh, that field is
Of
as well.
paddock, yeah.
Quite
You like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, we like
yeah,
that.
no, yeah,
Not
yeah,
sure what
yeah.
we do with that, but that's a,
Yeah, no,
lots of things we
yeah.
could do, I'm sure.
If you just come around here a bit more with me, you got,
Yeah.
well, essentially, it's like an annex, isn't it?
It is.
First floor, office.
Yeah.
Ground floor, workshop.
Fantastic.
Anything we want to do, we can do here.
Yeah.
There's no question about
masses
that.
and masses of space.
Yeah.
Great.
So how much do you think this is on the market for?
Well, it's got everything we want and much, much more. I think it's way over budget, and I'm going to guess 500,000.
All right, Chaz?
Well, I don't think you'd push us that far. So, so I'm going to say it's right at the top, 475.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll put you out of your misery.
Yeah.
It has previously been quoted on the market closer to your guess,
Yeah.
£500,000. But having met the owner, he's now quoting an asking price of £475,000. Not bad news?
No, that's,
that's quite good.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
stretches us to the
Yeah,
limit,
it
but
does.
we get everything we want
Yeah.
here.
He would be prepared to reduce the price further if you didn't take the paddock or the field. There's so much of this property you haven't
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
So we'd never feel cramped here.
Go and explore it then.
Okay,
Catch you whenever
we
you
shall
finish.
indeed.
Thanks
Yep.
very much.
This substantial detached house is right at the top of Deb's and Chaz's budget. But happily, there is room for negotiation. It's got 2 more bedrooms than they asked for, and there's a great kitchen diner with a superb outlook. And there's not only a study for Deb's, but a workshop and an office for Chaz too. The garden is just what green-fingered Deb's has been looking for. Plus, there are even more options with the additional land. And the journey to the coast is well under an hour.
Wow. Got a workshop as well.
Yeah, it's big enough for
Yeah, it's
any project I could imagine doing here.
It's just exactly what I expected of a house. It's the space we could easily work with. Having a meadow as well, it's just above and beyond what I expected.
It's not the sort of place we've ever come to look at. Too Swiss, too, I don't know. But when we got here, I think we've fallen in love with it. But we have been searching for quite a while, and of all the places we've looked at, this is probably the most intriguing. It's probably the biggest we've ever looked at. And it's the place we could most easily lose ourselves in.
I thought you pair had gone foraging.
Yeah, definitely.
So much to see in the house, but outside as well, wasn't there?
Brilliant.
Masses.
Masses,
We like this
to
place
see.
a lot.
Yeah.
Good. Well,
definitely.
something to think about tonight, then over dinner. Then
Yeah.
tomorrow's a new day. So
Certainly
take it
is.
back.
Thanks.
It's the second day of our journey around the Somerset-Devon border on the hunt for the perfect property for Debs and Chaz from Bristol to call home. They've got a good budget of up to £475,000 to spend on their country retreat, and they're looking for somewhere with a fabulous garden. Coming up, will our mystery house be top of the class?
This is the kitchen I've been looking for, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
And I'll be getting bogged down on Exmoor.
Goodness me, it's literally
Yeah,
like
it's very
a sponge.
absorbent. Yeah.
Well, yesterday for Chaz and Deb, big was certainly better, wasn't it? But I do think we've got a clear contender now with house number 2. So much so that for the mystery property, as usual, I think we'd afford to take a bit of a risk. Now, there are a few areas of concern here. First of all, they've said they're not particularly keen on conversions and listed properties. Guess what? The mystery property is both of those. But the other area of concern for me now is I think we might have spoilt them with all that outside space with house number 2. For the mystery property, they're going to have to think laterally about how they use the gardens.
For our final property, the mystery house, we're travelling back to Somerset, 45 miles from the second property, to the hamlet of Yard, which lies on the edge of Exmoor National Park. It's under a 15-minute drive to the coast and just a 5-minute drive from the nearby town of Willerton. Originally a small Saxon settlement, today Willerton is home to over 3,500 residents. It's on the West Somerset railway line and has its own newspaper, which was founded in 1860. There's a farm shop selling local produce, a number of cosy pubs and a great fish and chip shop. The Mystery House is just 3 miles away in the small but perfectly formed hamlet of Yard.
This is our Mystery House. What's your thoughts?
Pretty unusual.
A converted school built around 1819. It was then the village hall and is now a very impressive house, I think, right up your street. But at the moment, what are you thinking?
It looks nice from the outside. I quite like it. I like the look of it.
That is it's intriguing. That's lovely.
Yeah.
That one appeals to me immediately.
Good. All right, let's go inside.
Yeah.
This extremely unusual 19th century building is Grade 2 listed and a conversion. Not what our buyers wanted. But this is our Mystery House. It was converted into a residential property in 1972, and at the back there's a smaller house attached at one wall, which isn't part of this sale. We're heading straight to the kitchen diner to begin our tour.
Now then, prepare to be amazed.
Oh,
Size of this.
wow. Yeah, this is the kitchen I've been looking for, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
It feels lovely. Oh, I
Yeah,
quite
it
like
does.
the look of the kitchen.
Feels really homely already.
Great start.
Yeah.
Let's keep
It
walking
is.
through.
OK, lead on.
Next stop is an equally spacious sitting room.
I wasn't expecting this, so I thought having a big room next door that has
Might be
such a big-
compromised here, no?
Yeah, yeah, no. This
Even
is-
bigger.
You can do
Yeah.
anything you like with this room.
And having the doors that go onto the garden is brilliant.
Just off the sitting room is a single-storey room which could work well as a study. And as we go upstairs, we're heading straight for another big space, which could be, well, whatever they want it to be.
Is this an office? Is this a hobby room? Who gets first dibs?
Oh, I didn't expect this.
Or is it a bedroom? Make a fantastic bedroom. The windows are gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is
Really,
more joyful
yeah.
than the room downstairs,
Yeah,
actually.
it
I
is.
don't know whether this would be a place where you'd sit most of the time and watch telly or it is a bedroom.
On this floor, there's also a family bathroom and 3 double bedrooms. 2 are good-sized doubles, both with fabulous arched windows. And at the other end of the landing, there's the master.
You've got an ensuite. Lovely ensuite as well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is good. It's a really nice master bedroom. It's a very nice, cosy room, actually. Yeah.
And you
no.
probably need the odd cosy room in this
Yeah.
house because everything else is
Yes.
so big.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's hard to imagine this 200-year-old building once had the sound of the school bell ringing through it. It's been converted into a truly fabulous home, which could offer Debs and Chaz a country retreat with so many options. Let's find out if the outside space gives Debs the garden paradise she's dreaming of.
So gardens, well, not conventional for you. You're going to have to create one, I think, with this house. You can see you've got quite a bit of space here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The house has got loads. The garden, not so much, I think.
So, let me explain what else you get here that you haven't yet seen. Big double garage with power, most importantly.
That's good.
That's workshop for you, I imagine. Just there, you get a good deal of that shed there, if you like. It's an old skittle alley.
Oh.
OK, yeah, no, that's good.
OK, it's a lovely looking building.
Now, price-wise, how much do you think this mystery house is on the market for?
I wouldn't be surprised to see this on the market for $500,000, actually. But I don't think you're going to push us that far. I trust you. So let's say 470 this time.
OK. Deb?
I'm going to hope you've gone under budget. So I'm going to go 430.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, this place is on the market for offers around £450,000.
OK, yeah?
That's a lot of house for 450 grand.
Isn't it,
Yeah.
Jess?
Yeah.
Now is your opportunity to have a look around this place on your own. You've got the outbuilding there, the skittle alley, you've got obviously this garage, you've got all the other rooms you haven't yet seen. Have a walk around anywhere and everywhere you want, and I will meet you whenever you're done.
Let's
All right?
do that skittle alley.
OK.
See you in a bit.
This striking old school is a generous £25,000 under Debs and Chaz's budget, giving them a healthy kitty to spend as they wish. There's the potential to have 4 bedrooms here, plus a couple of options for Chaz's office and workshop. The kitchen diner is the perfect entertaining space for Debs, and the garden is just waiting for her to make it her own.
Wow, another big space in here. You get the table tennis table in
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
It really is quite a fantastic house, actually. Its inside is just more than I could ever dream of.
I think this place is fantastic. It's the biggest house we've looked at since we've started searching about a year ago. More space than you know what to do with here.
This house has given us a lot to think about. It's almost inside, it's almost our dream house. Outside, it's not so big, so there's kind of a dilemma. And this garden isn't a couple of acres, it's much smaller, but could work really well for us, I think, if we use the space a little bit differently.
So, has the mystery property at least challenged house number 2?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Difficult to choose between them at the moment.
Well, good, and that's exactly what you need to do now. I'm going to find you somewhere to have a bit of a conflab, and we'll catch up later on. How's that?
OK, that sounds good.
Let's go.
Exmoor National Park covers 267 square miles and straddles both West Somerset and North Devon. Its uplands are home to around 5,000 hectares of bogland, formed over 5,000 years and made up mainly of peat, which is mostly water and partially decomposed plant remains. In the early 19th century, thousands of drainage ditches were cut into this naturally waterlogged land by entrepreneurial landowner John Knight, in the hope the water would run out and the great expanse of moors could be used as farmland. His mission was successful and he got the grass he wanted, but there were devastating consequences to wildlife. The bogs dried out, causing vegetation to die, and with it the birds and insects that relied on it. Maddie Davey is part of a project to re-wet and restore 2,000 hectares of peatland by 2015.
So, Maddie, standing in this huge swathe of land, I mean, first of all, it doesn't really feel much like a peat bog. You weren't about to tell me otherwise, though.
Well, there is peat under our feet.
Right.
But it's probably not what you would call healthy peat.
OK.
So the peat is dry and degrading.
I can see this big machinery going on here behind us. What are they doing?
They are blocking the drainage ditches. So what they are doing is they are putting in wooden planks across the ditch, supported by upright posts, and then covering the whole structure in peat.
So you're basically undoing the drainage work that was done before then?
Yes, yeah.
What makes peat bogs so important then in the world?
A healthy peat bog can naturally filter the water.
Rainfall runs down the surrounding hills and into this moorland. The restored bog will store the water before it slowly makes its way to nearby streams, where it ends up providing drinking water to the southwest of England. Water running through a dried-out bog turns brown as the decomposed peat is washed along with it and has to be removed before it can be used to drink. The re-wetland here is not only valuable to two-legged locals.
Will that be useful to farmers as well, some of this work that you're doing? Will they be able to graze animals on a peat bog?
Yeah, the blocks will create little pools, which will be ideal in this weather anyway, for the livestock to drink out of.
A team of volunteers come here once a month to help maintain the peat blocks plugging the ditches. Wendy and Ken have been offering their services here for the past 4 years.
You two guys look like you're earning your lunch, at least.
Certainly are, yes. We're busy today. There's 2 spades over there.
OK, well, tell me what you're doing, then.
We're creating what we call a ditch block. These are drains that were put in the 19th century.
Yeah.
And it means all the water runs off down the hill to Exeter and floods Exeter.
The surrounding towns and villages in Somerset are particularly prone to flooding, so anything that helps prevent such devastation is hugely valuable to both the land and the locals.
I want to get my hands dirty. Where do I start?
You pick a bit along this side and you take off a peat so that we can take it over there and put it onto the ditch block and help to stop it up.
With what feels like a building block, Wendy.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Right, if you can pop it in there, that'd be perfect.
Just right in this hole here?
That's right.
Okay.
Stop that bit up. Stop it running through.
Oh, well,
And just tamp it down a bit. That's it.
OK.
And then Maddie's can go in next to it. That'll block that hole up nicely, won't it?
This area is a work in progress, but nearby there's an area of bogland that is fully restored.
So this is potentially the end result. How long has this been restored?
This is one of the first sites that we restored, so over 10 years ago.
At the heart of this is a certain type of moss, is that right?
Yes, sphagnum moss.
Sphagnum moss.
Yeah. Here, this is what we'd call an aquatic version of sphagnum moss.
Right.
So it lives in the water. Sphagnum moss can be up to 70% water. So would you like to give it a squeeze?
Goodness me, it's literally
Yeah,
like a
it's very
sponge.
absorbent, yes.
Up to 70% water.
Yes.
Does it have any other properties to it? Has it been used for anything in the past at all?
Oh, well, interesting fact, World War I, they used it to dress wounds because of its absorbent properties.
Oh,
When
really?
they ran out of bandages on the front line, that's what they used.
Fantastic. What a beautiful environment to work in. Well, I wish you a steady and regular flow of volunteers and
Thank
best
you.
of luck for the future. I'm going to go before I fall in. I think I almost have. Well, after great reactions yesterday afternoon at house number 2 and today at the mystery property, I think it's between those houses. But it's funny, isn't it? They couldn't be more different. But I don't think we've necessarily split the camp. But I do think we've got Deb and Chaz scratching their heads. Let's find out their thoughts. Now then, I'm all ears, because I think there's a big decision here, isn't there? I've set my stall out, and I reckon it's between house number 2 and the mystery property. Which is not a big guess, is it, really?
No, definitely house number 1 was ruled out
Yeah.
straight away.
So, what's it to be?
I think we're going to go and see both. Yeah, we're going to see both of them again.
Right,
Both
OK.
of them have got things in their favour.
Neck and neck. So does either of you favour one or the other?
I don't favour one or the other at the moment. I like
Neck and
them
neck
both.
for you? Wow.
For me, yeah.
I would go for the mystery house more than house number 2, only because the house itself didn't need any work doing to it.
No.
The garden was smaller, so I've compromised quite a lot on that.
It's great that you've got 2 favourite houses. What's going to help you make your minds up, then? What's the next step?
Look around both areas fully. And
Yeah,
pick
see what
that.
goes on in the community.
You're not in a bad position, are you?
No, no.
No, it's a nice choice. Good position to be in, yeah.
Look, whatever you decide, do please let us know, won't you?
We will
We shall.
do.
Yeah, we will,
Yeah.
definitely.
Good luck with your viewings.
Thank you
you.
very much.
So, after a year of looking in vain on their own, Chaz and Deb are now in the enviable position of having 2 houses and they can't choose between them. On the one hand, well, it's funny, isn't it? You've got a house that's almost too big for them, property number 2, versus the mystery property. And certainly in terms of outside space, that's on the cusp of being just big enough. So, hopefully, their second viewings will help them decide which of the 2 properties comes out on top. I wish them the very best of luck.
Debs and Chaz decided to revisit the mystery house. They still loved it, but concluded that the garden was a little too small and were worried about the large windows letting in the cold and what it would cost to double glaze them. They're now continuing their search in the area, hoping to find their country home. If you'd like to escape to the country in either England, Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.